Hello students. So today we are going to discuss the applications of resolution of a vector. Now in this case, let us assume this one is a horizontal surface, and on this horizontal surface it will be taken as a inclined plane. So this will be the horizontal surface, right? This is the inclined plane. So on this inclined plane, let us assume a body will be placed. So here the mass of a body will be equal to m. Now, so here the weight of body is always acting vertically downward direction, that is mg. Now this inclined plane is going to make an angle theta with the horizontal. Now we are going to resolve the components of weight into two components. So here this weight will be resolved into two components, that is equal to mg cos theta, and another one is equal to mg sin theta. If it is theta, then it is equal to 90, then it will be equal to 90 minus theta, then both are at right angle, that's why remaining angle is equal to theta. So hence mg cos theta and mg sin theta both are the components of weight. Now the question is arises like this. This will be the normal reaction. So there is no components, there is no division of normal reaction. I am going to resolve the only weight. Now the question is, what is the component of weight which is in the direction of inclined plane? So that is equal to mg sin theta. Mg sin theta is the component of weight which is in the direction of inclined plane or parallel to inclined plane. Mg cos theta component of weight is a component which is perpendicular to the inclined plane, These two things you have to remember. So this is the first application. Now come to second application. For example, it will be taken as a fixed support. Now let us assume here a simple pendulum is going to be freely suspended by using a massless rope. So whose length will be taken as L. Length means it is the length between the point of suspension to its center, Bob's center. Now the mass of Bob will be taken as M. Now this Bob will be displaced from its mean position by applying a horizontal force. Let us assume a horizontal force F will be applied on this body. As a result, it will be displaced from its mean position in such a way that the rope will makes an angle theta with the vertical. This is the vertical. Now in this case, so here the tension will be acting along the rope which is always towards the point of suspension. So hence the tension will be resolved into two components. If it is theta, then it is also equal to theta. Then it will be equal to T cos theta, and another one will be equal to T sin theta. Here you have to remember these components should be perpendicular. That's what you have to remember. And this is the external force, and this is the weight of that body. So at equilibrium position, then left side force is equal to right side force, upward force is equal to downward force. That means at equilibrium, net force value should be equal to 0. Net force value 0 means then T sin theta is equal to mg. Similarly, T cos theta is equal to T sin theta is equal to F, and T cos theta is equal to mg, right? So this is equation number 1 and equation number 2. So therefore from equation number 1 square plus 2 square, so we will get t square. This will be equal to sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to f square plus mg whole square. Therefore tension T is equal to under root of f square plus mg whole square. This is the tension. So if the question is going to ask find the tension in the rope, then you have to use this formula. Or after how much angle that bob is going to equilibrium. If the question is like that, then equation number 1 by 2 that will be equal to then t sin theta by t cos theta, that is equal to f by mg. Therefore tt will be cancelled, therefore tan theta is equal to f by mg. So now f is equal to mg tan theta. This is the applied force, this is the applied force. Now you can remember here this will be also equal to L, then it will be equal to L cos theta, it will be equal to L cos theta. Okay, now we can write, so this will be equal to x, here it is L, then L cos theta value will be equal to under root of L square minus x square, L square minus x square. So by using this value we can find out sin theta, that is equal to opposite side by adjacent side, hypotenuse, and cos theta is equal to adjacent side. Adjacent side value is nothing but under root of L square minus x square by L. If you are going to take tan theta, then opposite side by adjacent side, that is equal to under root of L square minus x square, like that. Okay na? So these things you have to remember. This is the second application. Now another point, the resolution of a vector into three rectangular components. Okay na? Right, for example here this will be taken as a x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. This is a three-dimensional coordinate system. In this one is taken as the origin. Let us assume, so here right, now we are going to take a point P. At this point, this will be the point P. Now this will be the x-axis and this will be the y-axis and z-axis. So let it be K point and point T, and here it is point S. Okay now, right. Now if a vector will be taken in this x y z space, it is not plane, it is three dimension. That's why that P point is in the space, that position vector of P point will be taken as a bar. I am going to take this one is the a bar vector. Now the given P point is not in xy plane, it is in xyz space. So that's why this a bar vector has three coordinates. One is along x-axis, one is along y-axis, another one is along z-axis. Right. So here let it be taken as like this. Okay now, right. So OP bar is equal to this will be taken as OK bar plus KP bar, right. So but actually OP bar is equal to OK bar means OT bar plus TK bar, okay na, plus KP bar, right. So OT means here a bar vector component along the x direction will be taken as AX, a bar vector component along the y direction will be AY, a bar vector component along the z direction will be equal to AZ. So here OT will be along the z direction, that's why AZ, okay na, it will be along z direction, that's why it will be taken as K cap plus TK is parallel to this x-axis, that's why AX value is along the x direction, that's why it will be taken as AX I cap, and KP bar is also parallel to y-axis, this will be taken as AY, so here AY Z cap. So therefore OP bar is nothing but A bar, therefore A bar is equal to AX I cap plus AY J cap plus AZ K cap. So this is the vector, okay na, vector notation of a bar in xyz space, xyz space. Now let us assume if this a bar vector is going to make an angle alpha with x axis and beta with y axis, gamma with z axis. So here if a bar makes an angle alpha with x axis, beta with y axis, gamma with z axis, then you can write, then cos alpha is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse, that is a. So adjacent side by hypotenuse. Similarly this value, okay na, will be equal to l. So from this relation ax is equal to a into cos alpha. Similarly cos beta is equal to ay by a. Cos beta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. So this will be taken as m, and from this relation ay is equal to a into cos beta, and cos gamma is equal to az by a, because this one will be taken as a right angle, okay na. So in this right angle process, okay na, so cos gamma is equal to az by n, that is equal to n. Therefore az is equal to a into cos gamma, right. These l, m and n are called direction cosines. Okay na, direction cosines of a bar vector. This is a very important point. Now while you are going to do the sums, there must be a important point you have to kept in mind, that is whenever l, m, n are taken as direction cosines, this is ax by a, ay by a, az by a. In all these cases the denominator part is same. Means for example if it is having a value of 2, then it should be 2, then it should be also equal to 2. This is the important point, okay na. So for example on this basis, if a problem is given like that, direction cosines are given, then what is the vector notation, what is the vector entered? Direction cosines means cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma, okay na. So with that you have to find out ax, ay, az value. So if you know the ax, ay, az value, then it is easy to write the vector notation, okay na. This is the important point. Now another important point, parallelogram law of vectors. This is the very important topic. So let us see here. This will be taken as a parallelogram. So in this parallelogram, these two are two adjacent sides. Here if the two adjacent sides which are taken from a point are going to represent the two vectors in magnitude and direction, then their resultant is given by the diagonal of that parallelogram which is passing through the same point, okay na, that is called parallelogram. So what we are going to do, this will be taken as p bar vector, this will be taken as q bar vector, here it will be the resultant vector. Here p bar and q bar are the two vectors which are represented in magnitude and in direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Then their resultant is given by the diagonal which is passing through the same point in magnitude and in direction. This is the statement of a parallelogram, right. So here the angle between two vectors will be equal to theta. Now this will be the p bar vector, then it is also equal to p bar vector because both are parallel. If it is a q bar, then it is also equal to q bar. Now just to draw a one perpendicular onto this line, okay na, then here both are parallel, here both are parallel, that's why it is also equal to theta, right? So here it will be p, it will be q, okay na. Now o a b c, right? So if you are going to observe this one, so triangle OBC is a right angle triangle, right angle triangle, right? So in this relation we can write from Pythagoras theorem or whatever it may be. So from the vector addition, OC bar is equal to, so this will be a vector, that is OB bar plus BC bar, right? So from this relation, cos theta is equal to adjacent side, that is AB by hypotenuse, that is hypotenuse value is equal to Q. So therefore AB is equal to Q cos theta. Similarly, sin theta is equal to opposite side, that is BC by Q. Therefore BC is equal to Q sin theta. These two formulas you have to remember, right? OC bar is equal to OB bar plus BC bar. So means this will be taken as, in this case, according to Pythagoras theorem, OP square is equal to OB square plus BC square, right? So in this vector notation, OP square, that is equal to OP square, and OB square is nothing but OB can be taken as OA plus AB plus BC square, that is equal to BC square, same. So here square, OA square is nothing but OA is equal to, OA value is equal to P, so that is equal to P plus AB is nothing but Q cos theta whole square plus BC is nothing but Q sin theta, this is whole square. Now OP is nothing but, this is the R, okay na, resultant vector. Now there is an important point, this will be the R bar, okay na. OC bar is equal to OA bar plus AC bar, that means R bar is equal to P bar plus Q bar. So all these formulas are going to be applied when the two vectors are going to be added, that is the important point you have to remember. So therefore R square is equal to, after simplifying we can get to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. So therefore R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. So this is the magnitude of, it is the magnitude of resultant vector, this is the resultant vector, this is the magnitude of resultant vector. Now if the resultant vector is going to make an angle alpha with P bar vector, you have to remember with P bar vector, then tan alpha is equal to opposite side, that is BC by adjacent side, that is OB. BC is equal to Q sin theta by OB is nothing but OA plus AB, that is equal to Q sin theta by OA is nothing but P, AB is nothing but Q cos theta. So finally you are getting tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta by P plus Q cos theta. This is the important relation. So this formula is going to be used while you are going to find out the magnitude of resultant vector. This formula is going to be used when the resultant vector going to make an angle alpha with P bar vector, then you have to use this formula. If you know the angle between P bar and Q bar, then if you know the alpha value, then you can also find out the angle between the resultant vector and q bar vector. These things you have to remember. So here one important note point, sir, if r bar is equal to p bar minus q bar, here this formula is satisfied, then we can use the magnitude of resultant vector. If this formula is taken in this form, therefore r bar is equal to p bar minus q bar, then the resultant vector will be equal to under root of p square plus q square minus 2pq cos theta. This is the important relation, because here theta is equal to 180. Okay na? So that's fine. Right, there are some cases. So here special cases. Case 1. So what does it mean? If two vectors, that is p bar and q bar, both are parallel, when both are parallel, means here theta is equal to 0. P bar and q bar both are in the same direction, then resultant vector magnitude r is equal to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq into cos 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1, that will be equal to under root of p plus q whole square and root will be cancelled, therefore r is equal to p plus q. This is the important one. So here this is the magnitude of resultant vector, and here the magnitudes are going to be added, so that's why resultant vector magnitude will be maximum. This is the important point. Okay, next one, if p bar and q bar are anti-parallel, means theta is equal to 180, then r is equal to under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq into cos 180. So then after simplifying this equation we will get p minus q. Okay na? So in this case r value becomes minimum. So now this is the third case. So if r max by r min is equal to p plus q by p minus q, this is the important formula. Okay na? So on this formula, one problem will be going to be asked in such a way that if the ratio of maximum and minimum value of two vectors will be given as r max by r min value will be equal to 2 by 3, then what is the ratio of p by q? Then p by q is equal to how much? Just to substitute in this equation, then we will get the p by q value. So this is the way to ask the question on this formula. Okay na? Next one, if p bar and q bar, if p bar and q bar mutually perpendicular, then both are perpendicular. Let us assume this will be the p bar vector and this will be the q bar vector, both are at right angle, that's why theta is equal to 90, then the resultant value will be in this direction. Okay na? Right, this will be the p bar vector and q bar vector, both are at right angle, then theta is equal to 90, then resultant vector magnitude under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq into cos 90. So this value is equal to 0, that is equal to under root of p square plus q square. This is the r value. So one important relation. So here another important formula, if you take tan alpha is equal to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta, if the resultant vector or both vectors are at right angle, then theta value should be equal to 90, then cos 90 value is equal to 0, then sin 90 value is equal to 1, that is equal to tan alpha is equal to q by p. So then tan alpha is equal to q by p. So like that. And one more thing, fifth one, this is the very important one. So here p bar is a one vector and this will be the q bar vector. Here p bar vector magnitude is lesser than the magnitude of q bar vector. Now the resultant of these two vectors will be perpendicular to the smaller magnitude vector. This will be the resultant vector. When the resultant vector is perpendicular to either of a vector, then angle between the two vectors must be greater than 90. So that's why here it is angle theta. Already it's 90. Then if it is alpha, then if you know the angle value, then theta is equal to 90 plus alpha. This is the angle between two vectors. Now in this case, what you are going to do is, let us assume. So just to draw a parallelogram. If it is p bar, then it is also equal to p bar. Then if it is q bar, then it is also equal to q bar. Then sine alpha is equal to, this is the alpha angle. Sine alpha is equal to p by opposite side by hypotenuse. If you are going to use cos alpha, okay na, that is this is the base. So this is the hypotenuse, p by q, right. Next again, if you are going to take cos alpha is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse, right. If you are going to take tan alpha, then it will be equal to p by opposite side by adjacent side, that is equal to r. Okay na? By using these three formulas, we can find out the alpha angle. If you know the alpha angle, then it is easy to calculate the angle between two vectors. So this is the important application. Next one, last sixth application. For example, if modulus of p bar vector, modulus of q bar vector both are same, then what is the resultant vector's magnitude? Under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. Then this will be equal to p square plus 2p square into cos theta. That will be equal to 2p square plus 2p square cos theta. And by taking 2p square as common, that is equal to 2p square into 1 plus cos theta. So here 1 plus cos theta is equal to 2 cos square theta by 2. So after substitution, then r is equal to 2p into cos theta by 2. So this is the important relation. Okay na? Right. This formula is going to be used when two vectors are having equal magnitude. Okay na? This is the important one. So with this, the applications of parallelogram law is over. Okay. Thank you, students.